All right, everybody, we are starting up the podcast right about now. Hey, guys, how's it going?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Dude, I'm doing solidly okay.
Oh
I'm doing
God, I'm on
pretty well.
camera now.
Oh, God.
I had
Oh, man.
I had that moment when you turned it on that I had like a weird, which I've never had before, like a deer in the headlights. I'm like, shit, what kind of face was I making?
Oh, man. Oh, man.
So we all good? We good to
Yeah,
go?
we're
Ready to start?
golden. We are good to go.
I am beautiful.
You
Thank you very
are.
much.
You are.
Honestly,
Get the
one little
glory
tiny
stain.
thing. I did not expect your camera to be as phenomenal as it was. It looks
Oh,
real
yeah?
good. Just saying. I was
I
losing my mind there for a second. I was trying to hold back. I was like, oh my god, that looks really good.
Oh, Homyk, you got such a nice camera, didn't you?
yeah, thank you. It's a Logitech 1080p Pro Stream camera.
Oh
You can
god.
find it on Amazon.com.
Oh man. Oh my god.
Hello, hello, and welcome to Next to Nothing, the show where we talk about how to waste your time and not your money in gaming. I am one of your hosts, Danie K. With me, as always, Renditions. How you
Hi,
doing,
I'm
Ren?
Ren. Hey, I'm doing actually pretty good. I just recently got a new camera. I haven't gotten the chance to use it yet. And I have to wait till tomorrow so that way I have all the cords to actually use it on my computer. So all I can
Yeah.
do right now is just stare at it and just really wish it was working. That's the only thing I can realistically do right now. I'm so excited yet so disappointed at the exact same time. But aside from that, I'm great. I'm just dandy.
Awesome. With us this week, now I have gone through a couple ways to pronounce his name. It's not Homyk, it's not Detroit Smash, it is HomykSmash.
Not even that one. Close enough.
Yeah. I'm sorry, it's HomykSmash. Homyk.
There we go. There we
Oh,
go.
man.
I have it written down here.
Phonetically.
I have it written down home dash ick, and I fucked up.
Oh,
Homyk
man.
Smash.
You're good, dude. Don't even worry about it, man.
So wonderful guest. Tell the wonderful people who are here, who don't know who you are, where they can find you, what you do, and all that good stuff.
Is swearing allowed on this channel?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right, awesome. Just making sure. Hello, everybody. My name is HomykSmash. I'm a variety caster. I do vocal things and bullshit. You can find me at twitch.tv/HomykSmash, where I do variety things. I sing and I do voice acting stuff and just make an ass of myself on the internet while praising the glory that is metal. That's what I do.
Hell yeah.
I don't think I've heard a more succinct and beautiful plug. We need to clip that and send it to all future guests. Like, this is how you do a plug.
You have to be this fucking full of yourself. This is how egotistical you have to be.
Oh my god.
So
I've had a lot of practice.
So go check out Homyk. I did a shout out in the live Twitch stream if you're joining us live. If you are not, if you are joining us in the VOD, or if you're joining us on YouTube or on any of the podcast platforms such as Spotify and Apple Podcasts, a link will be provided down below in the description. So go check it out down there. Guys, before we get started on talking about games and stuff, we have a giveaway.
Yeah.
I got a couple names. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 names who all retweeted our tweet that said we have, a new podcast is up on the feed. This is, of course, a part of the 1-year celebration. We want to thank everyone for celebrating 1 year with us. We still have a couple more weeks to go.
Congrats,
All
guys.
these, yes,
Yeah,
thank you,
dude.
Yeah, man. That's awesome.
So, without further ado, let's pick a name at random. So, I'm gonna re-roll it because it is somebody.
Oh.
it was Mr. Green Elite. who
Congratulations, NTN Podcast, for winning the giveaway.
Okay, so the actual winner
Oh man.
at Brandon 3915 wait. Brandon 39156690.
8675309.
Oh
I love
man.
number using.
So congratulations, Brandon. Number. Just a real quick little bit of housekeeping. The person who won last week, we have added you on Twitter. Please respond to us. If you don't respond to us within 30 days, we'll be giving the game away to somebody else. So if you want that game, last week's winner, please respond to us. Send us a message on Twitter at NTNPod. Other than that, congratulations to Brandon. You won a copy of Ren. What did you win a copy of?
Hollow Knight, a phenomenal game, by the way. Like, that game is so
Nice.
good. Oh my god.
So congratulations. This week we'll be giving away a copy of Monster Prom, a dating sim in which you date monsters, and it was produced by Jesse Cox.
Also a really good game. Shockingly good.
Mhm.
Yeah, Ren, you've played it, right?
Yeah, I have. I think we talked about it on the podcast before.
I think we have.
Mhm.
Just give people a quick like thumbs up, thumbs down, or like a score, whatever you want to do.
Oh, it's pretty good. It's solidly pretty good. It's like one of the only dating sim games I ever played and actually also enjoyed. Like, almost all the rest of them are horrible except for that one, and I think Dream Daddy were both really good. So yeah.
The only
Awesome.
the only dating sim game I've ever played was Doki Doki Literature Club. So
That's fair.
I can only assume. I never played this one, so I can only assume, based on the other glowing recommendations, that it is really damn good.
I've heard nothing but wonderful things about it, but of course, a lot of my my gaming content involves Jesse Cox, so it might be a little biased.
Fair point.
Oh man.
So, with that out of the way, we've got some stuff to talk about. It's a pretty light news week, so we have some games.
Mhm.
And we just want to start with this thing I pulled
Yeah.
off of itch. Okay.
Oh, I mean, sure. I
Oh, boy.
actually changed to Raid
Oh, yeah,
Shadow
no.
Legends because
yeah, let's talk
so-
about that.
yeah, for a little bit of context, like background context for you, chat. So, Danie was over here being like, I really want to talk about this one game, but I just can't stop playing this other one. And I know we talked about it, and I didn't think I was going to be playing it still, but like I still am. So that's essentially the boat we're in right now. So see,
Which I just opened it up because I wanted to make sure I have a reference, guys. So there's a weekly and daily login reward. I just got the 5-week login reward, and it's a sacred shard.
Dude, that's more commitment than I've had in any physical relationship.
Oh my god.
So this game, this goes back a couple weeks ago. Let me actually check and see for sure. I'll probably even link it down below. This game it's called Raid Shadow Legends, and what happened was there's a bunch of promos that came out at a certain point in time, and actually I'm still seeing promos for this game. I think I want to say one YouTuber I watch called Billiam, I want to say I've seen them do a promo for this game. There's just been enough, plenty of them that I kind of wanted to check it out and kind of see what this thing was. So it's a collect 'em all RPG where you play in a generic fantasy world. You build a team or a party of generic fantasy characters with different powers and different attributes. And you run these dungeons. Each dungeon has 3 rounds of combat, or not 3 rounds of combat necessarily, but 3 like encounters where like you fight against another team of generic RPG characters, and then like at the end of all of like these, you have some sort of boss. I don't know why I've continued to play it. There's not. It is very upfront that it wants your money. Like you open it up and it's like, hey, check out this option on the store. Close that out. Hey, we got another option. You didn't like that last option. You want this option on the store? No, I'm good.
Art-
Can I get to the game? Hey, look, I have another $40 option here for you. You want this $40 option on this?
Dude, I think you should take the $40 option.
Yeah, and so
Just upsell, man. Keep upselling.
yeah, it just keeps
exactly.
every time I load up the app, it's like I have like five windows I need to close. Now the game is fairly generous in like every 24 hours you get a common shard, which gives you basically a character that you can get some rare characters out of them, but not that often. It's usually just a good you sacrifice them to level up other characters.
Right.
So, every 24 hours you get basically a free sacrifice. You can get those common shards dropped to you in combat. You get a rare shard every like 4 days or something like that. So that's another like fairly common occurrence. You get some rare, interesting characters that have good abilities and whatnot. The game, as you guys can see in the video here, looks good. Like the character models and everything like that look good. There's nothing necessarily wrong with it. It runs perfectly fine. It's a mobile game. If it didn't run fine, there'd be some major problems.
Right.
And I would not be still playing it. I think there's something about the fact that like in combat I can run it on auto. Like I don't have to like manually, select every move and aspect of the game.
Right.
That has led me to just play it more because what I found is that like I'll be like on my couch or like I'll be like at a spot in like my work day where I'm waiting for some stuff to like finalize and push through.
Right.
So I just like load it up quick and like set it to auto run a dungeon and just kind of like let it go. Oh, I won. Cool. Ah, shit, I lost. And I'm like, okay, now I got to go in and I got to like spend all this silver to upgrade these characters and stuff like that. I think that's the big thing is that I'm not like having to really pay attention to this game, and the fact that it just auto runs
Yeah.
it does is the reason I keep playing it. And then there's like there's kind of like a Skinner box effect where anytime I like open up a shard or something like that or use a shard, I'm like, what kind of character am I gonna get this time? Oh fuck, a bandit, really? And then there's the times I got like an epic character once. One of the characters I'm running is like an orc fighter. She has like a regular attack, a power attack, and then she can revive one of my fallen heroes. So I run her mostly like in my lead slot.
Right.
So that was like a character I got out of like I think it was like a rare shard or something like that. I can't really explain it much else except for it's just really like easy to keep playing it.
Yeah. I mean,
it's held my. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm just really impressed by the quality because I haven't really checked out too many mobile games recently, just because like I've always had that stigma of like mobile games are inherent. Like I might be wrong in this regard, but I think half of them are garbage. So
oh yeah.
So
Come on,
like,
man, you don't want to play Fortnite on your mobile device or
why aren't you
tablet?
playing Clash of Clans with me? But
well, it's not
Come on,
even.
man.
It's not even that like most of them are trash. It's also that most of them are trash and they sell your data.
Right. Yeah.
Like
But I don't
if
know.
you've
This
ever
one looks really good. Like it actually looks really solid as like a title. Like I could even consider seeing this on being like a PC thing in its own right.
if this got some sort of PC port, I'd probably stream it.
Right.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of a game that is on PC right now, called For the King. Not nearly as pretty as this. It's got a kind of more I wouldn't say chibi, but it's got a more kind of. If I say animated, does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like,
no, I completely agree. I was gonna say it
yeah,
has more of like that anime vibe to it than anything.
Yeah. Like For the King has a very like kind of. It's got a unique art style to it.
Mhm.
Same thing though. I don't know if I haven't played it myself. I watched my buddy Jack Lafier play it though, and
Mhm.
he freaking he plays the hell out of that. And you can actually roll co-op in the game through a dungeon as like certain heroes. I've been really
Hmm.
tempted to get the game, but I wanted to stream it with someone.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, that's what this reminds me of because you roll through a dungeon, killing whatever groups of monsters that you come across, and you can like find shopkeepers along the way, and eventually you try and beat like the dungeon boss before you move on to the next zone. I don't know if that's something similar to what this is exactly, but
Well, each dungeon is kind of like themed to like the area in the I mostly play the campaign.
okay.
Um, there's some other dungeons where it's like, or there's like some other combat areas. So I might need to just open up so I can actually remember what they're all called. Um, so you have like the campaign where you have the individual like stages, and each stage has 3 rounds of combat in it essentially. And then
Mhm.
at like stage 7, I think, yeah, stage 7 is where they have their boss on each of the campaign levels. And then you have your dungeons, which are like the same. The dungeons is like different keeps, I guess, different castles. It's the same rounds over and over again, but they get progressively harder until you get like, it looks like there's like 15 stages per dungeon, and you only unlock one after you beat the one below it.
Mhm.
And you get different loot out of that as well. Um, different thing, power ups and whatever else. It very much is designed to make you want to grind
Right.
because you can, free to play game. It obviously is designed to to sell you the convenience of the game.
Right.
Um, that's a lot of what they're trying to make you buy is, different convenience items.
Mhm.
Um,
That
other
upgrade tree thing is making me want to play Final Fantasy 14 right now. I don't know why, but seeing like the whole upgrade, watch the bar go up, and then like
Yeah.
hell, yeah, I just get
Mhm.
that urge like God, I wanna smith in FF14 now. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what. Sorry, it's really
No,
random thought that
actually,
I
and
just
that's
had.
and that's something I forget about that aspect of the fucking game all the goddamn time. Like I will lose, and I'm like, why the fuck am I losing this? I can't seem to get past this. Oh, because I haven't upgraded any of my gear because it's not like right in front of me.
Mhm.
And it's also a huge silver sink. So everything requires like silver. You want to upgrade your gear, you have to use silver, which thankfully
Mhm.
they're really generous with the silver. Um, you wanna open up a shard, you have to use your silver, right? You expend a shard and your silver. You wanna remove items, use your silver. You want to sacrifice uh, champions to upgrade other champions, got to use your silver. You know,
Mhm.
silver is the big sink, and so that's where I think a lot of like these packs are. It's like you'll get like 1 million silver, you know, for $10.
Mm.
So it's just
That's
like a
just that's just uh, I've gotten so used to mobile games just being like that, though.
yeah,
I don't play a lot of them, but I
Right.
mean, you can download this game for free, right?
yeah,
Right.
So
yeah.
like
It's not, and that's not even egregious in my opinion.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, like because that's how they just make their money. So I mean, if
Mhm,
you're only
Yeah.
spending like a buck or so, like a
yeah,
couple of bucks like a month, I wouldn't say that's a bad thing. Like
Yeah.
no,
especially if it's a good if you're enjoying the game. Like
Right.
yeah,
I mean, Warframe's got it's free to
Yeah.
play and it's got that model. I think
Mhm.
yeah.
I've spent maybe full game price on
Mhm.
that. And
Mhm,
when I played it, I had a hell of a good time.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have no problem with like as predatory as it can be,
Mhm.
mhm,
my microtransactions and stuff like that on a free game, it's
Right.
fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
Because it's not mandatory in order to own the
mhm.
game.
Right.
Or mm,
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And
Which actually is really funny that you mentioned that because we had actually one of the stories I suggested, and I didn't really talk about it as an option,
mhm.
was this game that's labeled, it's called Esports Heroes or
Mhm.
Esports Hero. That's a free to play scam on Steam. Um,
oh
but
really?
yeah, uh, so it's free to download, but then they're like, hey, in order to play the game, you need to buy this.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the thing that had Bobby Kotick's wonderful face on it. Is that
Oh no. This was one of the first things.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, this is a video.
Oh, I see
This
it.
was a video from Big Fry. But yeah, like I am perfectly fine with it. I haven't felt pressured to like or like felt like the impulsive need. I haven't felt like it's really been exploiting me. Now, I will say one thing that I am a little annoyed with is just the fact that the store is kind of hard to click out of.
Hmm.
And so I could see where like maybe a kid on mom and dad's iPad would accidentally click on something
Yeah.
or would like impulsively click on something. And that could be a problem. I could see that for sure being a problem. But other than that, and to be honest, I mean, that's kind of crummy in terms of UI design
Hmm.
and kind of exploitative in terms of UI design, but that's not the worst thing in this space.
Right.
Not to say that it's good, but it's also not like the worst thing that I've seen in this in the mobile space.
Hmm.
Um,
Have you spent
yeah,
any money on this so far?
none.
Okay. All right.
No, I mean, it is the epitome of to me, it's like the epitome of a toilet game. It's like
Hmm.
I play it when I'm on the toilet and I have, nothing to read or check on or emails to
You wipe
respond
your
to.
ass with it. That's what you
Yeah, I
do.
wipe my ass. There's there's the, I am watching the news on the couch moment. And then there's the, well shit, I just tried to export logs for work and now I'm gonna be here for about 5 minutes. Let's run a
Right.
dungeon. That's how I've been playing it. So I mean, any other questions on Raid Shadow Legends and why I keep playing this game for some reason?
I mean, I'm mostly just shocked by how good it looks because I think I'm with Homyk in the boat of like I don't trust mobile games for like a vast majority of them. I really don't. Like you really got to sell me on it otherwise. But it looks okay.
Yeah.
It looks all
Which,
right.
in terms of promo,
Mhm.
they've spared no expense. I've seen, like I said,
Mhm.
Billiam, Philip DeFranco,
Right.
Anthony from CSN, oh God,
John,
Wavy
actually, now that I
Webster,
think about it, JonTron actually promoted this game too a while back.
him too.
Yeah.
Yes, JonTron did, Wavy Websurf,
Mhm.
Wang. I mean, I could list off like basically everyone on my YouTube subscription list.
Right.
And I've probably revealed way too much about myself listing off all the people I've seen it on. People are
No.
people are probably judging me right now. I'm surprised I haven't seen LTT get sponsored by it.
Oh man.
Uh, so yeah, they've spared like no expense. If you guys, I'm not paid. Hashtag not an ad. Um, it's fine. It's kept me entertained. For some reason kept going. I keep going back to play it every other day or so, maybe every day.
Mhm.
Um, just it seems like a good time waster.
Yeah.
That's what it's been.
But Raid Shadow Legends, if you do want to give
Yes.
Danie or
I mean,
me
if you want,
money
it's
to
yeah.
promote your game,
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, no big
I'll tell
deal.
you what. I'll do one sponsored stream. I'll just do it. I will do like a 6-hour stream of just playing this game, and then we're done and we're out.
Oh man. Oh my goodness.
So
All right.
that's Raid Shadow Legends. Ren, what's next on the docket? Unless you
The
guys had anything
next,
else you want to talk about.
I think I'm personally good. I feel like we kind of, I mean, we've already talked about it in the past, and like, there's not a
Yeah.
whole lot extra to add on top of it. But I think we're good. However, I think Cadence of Hyrule is a nice little place where we can go to for a bit because I'm very curious about how Homyk feels about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes, I enjoyed the ever living hell out of Cadence of Hyrule. It doesn't also help the fact that one of my friends, Family Jules, wrote the guitar part for freaking Cadence of Hyrule.
Oh,
Like,
really?
Really?
yes, all the guitar that you hear, all that, all that awesome guitar music, that's all Family Jewels, and you can find him at youtube.tv or TV, youtube.com / Family Jewels, and twitch.tv / Family Jewels. Awesome guy, brilliant musician. Him and also his uh his comrade, is a partner in crime slash significant lady, Adriosaurus. Actually, she sang a lot of the lyrics or a lot of the vocals in this game as well. Like for those of you who don't know, it's a spiritual sequel slash
Hmm.
spinoff to Crypt of the Necrodancer, which is a very notoriously difficult
Hmm.
roguelike game,
Mm-hmm.
where you have to move and fight to the rhythm of the song that is playing in the background. Whenever you get into combat, maybe we'll see in a second. Whenever you get
Right.
into combat, a grid appears in the ground. Is just like this, like a disco floor.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you hop to the rhythm, and you attack in rhythm, you dodge in rhythm, you use spells in rhythm, and over time you build up like a fight meter that can increase your I see that they reflect to the beat also. And it's just, if you're someone who loves music and loves
Hmm.
rocking out, this game is just like a natural flow for you. Also, the art style is gorgeous. Like the art style for this game in particular, like Crypt of the Necrodancer had a very fun art style, but
Hmm.
this game's art style is just actually beautiful. Like I was looking at it and I'm like, the sprites, how they move and everything. Like Nintendo, the artists who worked on this did a really goddamn good job of just making their version of the Zelda world just really look like its own in
Yeah.
this
Mm-hmm.
setting.
Yeah,
And
it
it's
looks phenomenal. Like it looks really good. I actually didn't expect it to look like this good, to be
mm,
honest. As somebody that did
yeah,
play Crypt of the Necrodancer a little bit, like yes, it does have like its own unique art style, but it's not anything like super crazy. Like it's not anything like outside the realm of possibility. But this looks
mm,
like an actual straight up like it looks like a Legend of Zelda game. Like that's just what it
mm.
looks like. It looks proper. Like that doesn't look like
Well,
there's anything wrong with it by any means.
well, it is. I mean, like that's like the creators of Crypt of the Necrodancer. I guess I don't know how it went down, but someone from Nintendo was like, "We love your game. We want you to
Hmm.
make a Zelda version of it." So this is an actual official, like Nintendo wanted this to happen
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
dealio.
They
Um,
announced it at E3, right?
Yes, they did.
yes. Hmm.
Yeah.
And freaking yeah, I'm astounded that Jules and Adri were to keep a lid on this as a side note, just because like freaking Nintendo's non-disclosure policies are brutal as
Right.
far as like but no, I enjoyed the hell out of this game. The only downside is I took my time with this game.
Hmm.
So I had like multiple streams of like I think I beat this game in like I think I beat this game in I want to say 12 hours,
Hmm.
but you can honestly beat the game if you just sit. That's streaming and all the shenanigans that I do. You can honestly sit
Mm-hmm.
down and beat the game in like maybe 4 or 5 hours. It's really not that long. And unfortunately, the
Yeah.
price is like the price is $25, which isn't
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
too bad. It's not too bad, but at the same time, like for most people who are like $25, I want more than 5 hours.
Right.
Um, to which I do also say that the map randomly generates
Hmm.
in certain aspects. Hyrule Castle and Lake Hylia stay in the same locations, but the Gerudo Valley, the forest, and I think the beach, or something like that. The other zones, they actually, the mountain range, Death Mountain, they actually swap on the map where they could
Okay.
potentially be
Oh
located.
wow.
So it has a little bit of replayability. So
Hmm.
for like speed runs and stuff, and I don't know. I thought that was cute, and I only found that out because I put a play test and then I completely restarted the game. And when I restarted the game, my map, I'm like, I don't remember this being in this location. So then I
Mm-hmm.
realized that the map randomly generates every
Hmm.
time you start a game.
Yeah.
And you can get different weapons and power ups and stuff. She just picked up a obsidian torch uh, to light in little dark dungeon areas and stuff like that. You can get ranged weapons, like broad
Hmm.
sweeping weapons. You get all the classic like kind of Zelda tropey weapons and items and stuff. Like you got bombs, you got
Yeah.
uh like boomerang, bow and arrow, and they all have their own different way of playing in this rhythm based game. and it's
Hmm.
all really freaking cool. And I really enjoyed the hell out of this game.
Yeah.
And I honestly can't wait to see what the devs of this game do next. Um, I don't necessarily want a sequel. I think official Crypt of the Necrodancer sequel would be
Hmm.
awesome. Though I
Yeah.
still need to beat the first. I still need to beat the first game because, frankly, it's hard as hell.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. It's definitely a game that tries to convince you that it's easy because like with an art style like this, like it's pretty easy to get caught up in the sense like, oh, this is kind of a kid's game. Not really, but like with that sort of art style, it can kind of sell you on that front. But
Mhm.
I found that to be the exact case with me when it came to Crypt of the Necrodancer. I was like, oh, I played like several different roguelikes, so this will be fine. I'll be okay. I'm competent enough to handle it. And then I found out I had zero rhythm whatsoever. I can barely like fight basic mobs, and I'm just sitting here like, what is happening right now? Like, what is going on? Did this one
Which is
have the
actually
same type of difficulty to it?
no. This one's actually a lot easier. So the way it works is if you die in this game, because you will die in the very
Hmm.
beginning, because you've only got 3 hearts to start.
Right.
Um, you actually get so you see in the top right corner, you got rupees, small
Hmm.
keys, and then you got diamonds. Diamonds are the perma currency.
Okay.
Whenever you die, you keep the diamonds that you've collected. You lose all your rupees, all
Hmm.
Majora's Mask style, but you keep all your diamonds, and you enter this respawn screen where then you can or this like a weird room, like respawn room, where you can then purchase something with the diamonds you've accrued. Um, and then you can restart where you left off. Whatever dungeon you have beat, though, you retain. It's a lot easier than Crypt of the Necrodancer. I'll say that.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, you don't completely restart and have to like
Right.
fight your way through a dungeon over again. You
Hmm.
can. Yeah, that is the death scene. Exactly what I was talking about.
Right.
So you can then like buy an item and then you can enter back into the world. Whatever dungeons you've beaten, whatever bosses you've beaten, stay beaten.
Okay.
Um, so and also your amount of heart stays the same and everything, but you lose um I think all of, I don't know if you lose all your weapons. I think you lose all
Hmm.
um but you get to a point in this game where you just get so powerful that
Hmm.
you almost never die, especially when you
Yeah.
throw under the fact that you can bottle fairies just like any other Zelda game.
Right.
um you can basically you can just stay alive forever if you know where to go in order to get the item that'll keep you alive and stuff like that. I
Hmm.
died a little bit in the beginning, but then
Yeah.
around the halfway point of the game, after I had gotten like 6 7 hearts, like
Hmm.
it was fun, but it was definitely not nearly as challenging as it was in the very beginning.
Right. Okay, I got you. I got you. Got you. So does this
But
just have? Okay. No, go ahead.
sorry, but I was gonna say about Ren, for you,
Hmm.
since you suffer with the rhythm thing,
Yeah.
there is, I forget what the mode is called exactly, but in this game it has a, I'll call it a rhythm challenged mode.
Okay.
Where
Okay.
you can turn off the requirement of rhythm in the
Hmm.
game, and you can just you play it as like a turn based, kind of like a turn based strategy game.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, so like you would like, so I guess you could say it would play like kind of like Final Fantasy Tactics, I
Right.
guess.
Yeah.
So you would like move your character, and then you would see the monster like do a move,
Hmm.
and you know it's like they're preparing to attack move or something like that, and
Hmm.
then you could choose to like strike them or like reposition yourself or something like that.
Right.
So that's the way that it plays out. If you have trouble with the rhythm,
Hmm.
if not, like you know,
Yeah.
it's fun to play regardless.
Yeah. Yeah. What was I going to ask? Oh, so okay. So
Take
with
your
Crypt of the
thoughts.
Necrodancer, it's just inherently a roguelike. Is there any
Mhm.
like mode option? Like can you change it to be in a roguelike setting? Because it somewhat is, but there's also that like case where you even said yourself, when you kill a boss, it's dead. Like that part's already dealt with, that part's done. Certain things
Mhm.
like that, getting health containers, those last. Um
Yeah.
Things like that. Is there
Um,
any bonus mode where I could just be like, okay, I want to set it to just be permadeath roguelike from start to finish, and then
I'm
see how
not.
that goes?
I'm honestly not sure. I'd have to look into it because I just
Okay,
played the game straight up.
right.
I will. I will say. as far as that, in the opposite direction, there is a
Mhm.
co-op mode. You can
Oh,
actually
really?
yes, you can actually play this game with a friend, and you've got the choice of either playing as Zelda,
Mhm.
Link, or the Crypt of the Necrodancer lead character. Oh God, I'm blanking on her name.
Oh,
But yeah,
okay.
because yeah, is in this game. Like she makes like the story behind this game is like she gets teleported to this world to the land of Hyrule, and so she's helping
Oh,
Link and Zelda do their
gotcha.
thing and
That's
fight.
really cool. That's
Mhm.
super cool. I did not know that was the thing at all.
Yep. I'm just I love this freaking game just because the arts, as I said, the art style is so charming. Uh,
Mhm.
knowing that some of my friends worked on it, like worked their asses on it, is also another huge, like, kind of prideful, like,
Right.
cap in my hat to know that I know some really amazing people who got to work on this game.
Yeah.
Um, and it's also just it's fun and it's adorable. It's got all the classic Zelda tropes as well as some tropes from a brilliantly made awesome indie game developer that just really you can tell they love what they're doing.
Mhm.
And I don't know, you can just it is a really well made game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you can even tell like immediately, like the split second they pulled up the inventory screen, that was the split second I noticed they added an insane amount more depth than they did with
Mm,
the original one, because the original Crypt of the Necrodancer did not have nearly as much in terms of like a depth mechanic or anything like an inventory per se. It was kind of just like, I found a weapon, I'm going to use it. If it's good, great. If it's not, I guess I'll just skip it for now and then try to find another one. But
yeah. Mm,
I like just seeing that alone. I'm really excited to see what they do with another Crypt of the Necrodancer sequel. Like you
oh
mentioned,
yeah.
like I could very easily see that one being so much better than the original, just
Oh
based
yeah.
off of like what we're seeing right here. So yeah.
And also probably a hell of a lot more difficult as well.
Yeah.
I really should go back and beat the original one just
Hmm.
because uh
Yeah.
It's,
It's it's
this is a great
definitely
game.
a
I love
fun game.
it.
It's just the matter of like the rhythm for me personally. It's a struggle. It's a fun struggle. Like I like going through it because it's kind of a learning process, and that's one of the big reasons why I play games personally. Is just to like
Mhm.
relearn a bunch of mechanics and then learn how to get good and then eventually just stop playing altogether. But yeah, I don't know. That game really had me convinced for a while, like just in terms of the combat mechanic is something super interesting that not really any other games do. Even most rhythm games aren't like this in any real
Mhm.
degree. Um but yeah, I don't know. It looks super good. It looks really really high quality. That's one of the
Yeah, it
biggest things that
is.
I can go for it. Um
Uh, what the hell was I just thinking of right now? Damn it, I'm blanking on what I was just thinking of. All I this game was just I completely forgot what I spaced
oh,
on what I was gonna say.
it's all
But
good, no worries.
this
Basically I'm just really stoked to see what they do with the second game. I'm sure they're going to do a second one. Like they gotta do a sequel. The first one sold really
mm,
well, to my understanding, and
mhm.
it's overall
It,
like it's well loved in the community. And I'm sure based on
Mhm.
the results we're seeing right now, it would just be. I can't imagine that many people hating it. Like I can't really imagine anybody being like, I don't like this particular mechanic.
oh,
Um,
absolutely. They technically had a sequel, but
mhm,
it was more in line with it's more of just a major expansion to
right.
the original game that just added a new character and also a new method of gameplay,
Hmm.
but it
Mhm.
was still the same game from my understanding.
Okay.
Um, I can't remember what the name of the DLC was. I love how I'm the one representing it as a game, and I'm just like, I can't remember what the name of the main character was. Fucking
Oh man.
Cadence of Hyrule. What was the main character? Sven. Was that her name? Sven.
I think some people said her name is Cadence.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
Cadence. Of course, of course, people from my chat would know the answer.
Right.
I just
Oh man.
tossed it all out of my brain as soon as I was done streaming the game.
So it's available for $25.
Mhm.
You think you got your $25 worth out of it?
I would say yes. Then again, as I said, streaming the game is a lot more difficult. Not more
Mhm.
difficult. A lot more. It is, but it's a lot more different than if I was just sitting there actually playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
If I was sitting there playing the game by myself, I'm not sure. The fact that it's only available on Switch is also a little bit of a eh.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If this, I know a lot of people were really disappointed that it wasn't available, that it wasn't a Steam release or something like that.
Right.
But I mean,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be. It's a Nintendo
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, it's
Like
a Nintendo game. You're not gonna get that. It feels bad. Sorry.
mhm.
Maybe some sort of light version on mobile, but that's a long shot too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a little bit of a downside to the game. As I said,
Mhm.
also it's only about 5 hours long.
Mhm.
Maybe if you
Mhm.
know if you figure out what you're doing.
Right.
The partially randomly generating map is touch, but I don't know. I got my money's worth out of it, and I'm sure if I had a buddy to play with, it would add a whole new. I didn't even get to play multiplayer, so I don't even know what that's like, or
Mhm.
like how much more like depth that would add to the
Yeah.
gameplay, or like like even if they add any changes when you're playing multiplayer. I don't even know if that's a thing. For all I know, there could be like more mobs, or the mobs could have like upgraded tactics or something like
Right.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know.
I guess
Yeah.
I do have one quick question for you. The
Mm.
music, does it change based on the stage, or is it like a random piece of music every stage?
It's based off of the location. For instance,
Okay.
Gerudo Valley has got the na 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 na, and also depending on the location. For instance, when you kill, like it's all like bombastic and like heavy whenever there's enemies around. But as soon as
Mhm.
you kill all the enemies on a board, it becomes a lot more softer and more backgroundy.
Mhm.
Um, so I always try and like, where's the next enemy spot? I need to jam out to some electric guitar and brass going.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
it's kind of a motivation to, which it is a nice motivation to kind of keep moving forward to hear that awesome soundtrack play because once you
Mm-hmm.
beat an area, you're like, oh, the music's gone. Let me
Right.
find some more bad guys to kill so I can get some more awesome music going. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's and that I would say, like, as I said, like my buddy Jules is a fantastic musician and like hearing Danny Baranowski is the composer for this game's music.
Mhm.
And now obviously he didn't invent the Zelda theme, but he did the instrumentation and everything for this game soundtrack.
Right.
And yeah, depending on what area you're in, the music is different. Underground areas have different music. Dungeons have their own unique soundtracks. Bosses
Mhm.
have their own unique soundtracks. The soundtrack to this game, I'd say, would be pretty well worth trying to pick up at some point because
Yeah.
it is just a really rockin' rendition of the Zelda themes that everyone has grown up and known and loved.
Yeah.
So,
And that's honestly one thing we didn't even really talk about, which is probably the most important thing about Crypt of the Necrodancer and Cadence of Hyrule, is that
Yeah.
sure they are
mm,
roguelikes and sure they are games themselves, but they're really heavily focused on their music quality. And
oh,
that's something that I
absolutely.
really, really respect for a game to do. Because
Danny is fantastic. Like,
mhm.
because he worked on this game and also Crypt of the Necrodancer. Like, he is just, uh
Mhm.
I I haven't gotten to meet, I haven't gotten to talk with him personally, but
Mhm.
I got to see him at TwitchCon, 2017,
Mhm.
and he is just a ball of energy and creativity. He is an awesome dude. Um, quite honestly, larger than life, literally and figuratively. He's a big fucking man, big fucking man. But he's got it's a brilliant mind on that sexy hunking body of his, and
Mhm.
God, I'm, so I could just gush about his music for days because it's just all so good. But yeah, Cadence
Oh
of Hyrule,
man.
it's
Awesome.
pretty lit.
Oh man.
Anything else on Cadence of Hyrule, guys?
I think
uh,
I'm golden. I mean, really, I would say if you like music and you also like say well, first off, obviously, if you liked Crypt of the Necrodancer, you're probably gonna really like this. But if you
Mhm.
like music-based games, this is a very good pickup, just in general. Like,
Mhm.
I found myself, even though I could barely play Crypt of the Necrodancer properly, the music itself was actually, even the way that Homyk said it, it itself is kind of the motivation to keep playing. Like,
Mhm.
it's not even necessarily so much about the enemies as it is about the music and like trying to pick that pace up in terms of the music quality.
I can't tell you how much of my playthrough, how much of my commentary ended up being like, I'm gonna kill you freaking guys. I'm gonna stab you in the eyes. I'm gonna freaking eat your face. You're gonna die. Like just like I can't it just turned into be like singing as I'm just like "Da-da-da-da-da-da," just like going for it. That's all my commentary turned into was just me singing the songs as I was going. But it's just the way when the music is just that bumping and that good, it's exactly what it turns into.
Oh
Yeah.
Get
man.
absorbed in it.
But yeah, definitely worth looking into for sure. Like even while I was watching it, I was just like, wow, this looks better than what I expected it to look like, that's for sure.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Zelda's got some sexy swagger too. In the game. Like her sprite's all like, "Ooh, look at my hips sway," and I'm just like, "I'm looking."
Oh man. Oh my goodness.
Awesome. What's next on the list, Ren?
Well, next up, we're gonna actually be talking about Slime Rancher a bit. So, for those who are like new here, well, for those who aren't new here, we've actually talked about Slime Rancher once before, but it was a while back, and I haven't
Yeah.
recently played it since like just last week. Um, and I've been loving it. I've completely forgot how much I really enjoyed that game. So for those who don't know, it's a very cute art style game. That's like the biggest focus on it by far, is that it's
Mhm.
meant to just be an adorable game to just kind of like play and chill. And think of something along the lines of like Harvest Moon, for example. But very clearly I'm bringing it up on screen right now just that way people can get a very clear idea of the focus on adorability more than anything.
Yeah.
So the game is just
Uh,
focused around collecting slimes, realistically. Like you're not forced to progress towards any actual goal. You just start off by just being like, "Oh, look, adorable little pink slimes over there. I'm just going to collect some. Why not?" And then like you're just like, "Okay, all right, I got a few. Let's go and like explore some more." And then it's the progression of just finding more and more than anything. It's very
Yeah.
exploration heavy game.
they all just look happy to be alive.
Exactly. Exactly. I was recommended this by a viewer in one of my streams. Even though I did own the game, they were like, "Hey, you're not really doing anything right now. Do you want to play this?" And I was like, sure, I guess. I mean, I'm not really opposed." And the one thing that I'll immediately say is that in the same boat that like Harvest Moon and Stardew have, they have that trait of just one more second. I just need to go do this real quick. And then you just keep
Mhm.
staying in that repetitive loop of like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go do this real quick. That's fine. It'll take like 5 seconds. No big deal." And then you're constantly in that cycle to the point where like I meant to stream it for like 2 hours and I think I streamed it for 5. And I was just like, "Oh yeah, no, I'll end shortly. I'll end very soon. I need to go open this gate. I just need to go find some more dudes, it's not no big deal. I'll be fine. I don't have a problem." Okay. But I found it to be extremely adorable. I've missed this art style in particular. It's
Mhm.
very simplistic. Like you don't need to play it with like the goal of beating it in mind. If you're just wanting to chill and you want like a chill experience, this easily has you covered on it. Um I think I got it for $5. I had it on Steam through Steam family sharing from a friend. And while I was playing it, he decided to go play some games of his own, so it just immediately kicked me out of the game. And I was like, "You know what? Screw this. I'm going to go buy it. I'm going to buy it anyway. There's no reason not to." I think I bought it for like
Mhm.
$5. Easily worth it. I probably at this point have currently I want to say like 12 hours in it so far. But it's something that you could definitely get soaked into. There is some story elements to it. Like there is what would I call them? They're basically signs that talk about the character that was before you on this farm, for example.
Mhm.
And in the grand scheme of things, they don't really matter. Like for me personally, I played the game just to chill, have fun, throw slimes into an ocean, and then just be like, "This is my one favorite slime. If anybody even gets close to him, they all die." Like
But
that's basically it. But
but Ren,
Uh-huh.
What about the fan fictions? We need those. We need those theories.
Oh
How am I
God.
supposed to write my Slam Rancher fan fictions without you? Do you not appreciate the story that the developer worked so hard to tell, Ren? How dare you?
Oh
How
man.
dare.
I don't want to know about any Slime Rancher fan fiction. I will be dead honest with you. I will be
baby.
completely honest with you. But oh my God.
Just gonna go into an incognito window real quick.
Oh man. I would not recommend looking up anything in that boat. Anyway. So yeah, like it starts you off pretty simply. It's like, okay, you have this very small area, you can explore, you can kind of do whatever, and you're just left to your own devices to have fun. And the nice thing is that it gives you goals without really implying goals. So you'll run against, like, as you saw right there, there's a giant slime, giant pink slime, and there's no other real slimes like that in this area. You just find like tiny little dudes that are just chilling, but that big fucker is just chilling out on an island, just hanging out over there, and you're inherently just left to be like, what is the deal with that? Maybe I can grab him, maybe I can feed him. So you feed him, and then it turns out that your goal is to feed him until he dies. So that way he drops a key for you to open up more areas. That's essentially it. Right? Oh man. So that's the real nice thing about it, is that, like, at least for me, because I didn't read any of the signs, it does an actual really good job of explaining itself without you having to look it up. There is a lot of info, like a large amount of info that I didn't expect. So when you go into the menu, there's a bunch of different options as usual, and there's something called a Slimepedia, which is basically like a giant Wikipedia of every single thing that you've found. That's the keynote of things that you've found. So you can't just be like, oh, that's the endgame stuff right there, obviously. Like, ta-da, I know everything now. Get wrecked, game, there's no point of playing. But, like, there's shockingly a large amount of, like, story elements to slimes, which I didn't even get into. I just saw, like, 4 paragraphs of text about one pink little slime, and I was like, I think I'm good. I think I'm alright. I'm not interested in that. But yeah, it's definitely super adorable. The game feel is phenomenal. Like, that was one of the best things. But I'm at the stage where it's started to take like a weird turn, at least for me personally, where the entire time leading up to this, you're basically doing what's on the screen right now. You're basically just collecting slimes and you're experimenting. You're seeing what happens if, like, oh, I feed one slime a drop from another slime, and then it just turns into like a weird amalgamation of both. But, like, sometimes they're adorable, sometimes they're terrifyingly dangerous and will just try to kill you outright. But I'm at the stage now where it's like trying to get me to make certain mining tools, which is very weird, and it was not at all what I was expecting. So a keynote is, like, through all of this, there's no time, like, there's no time durations on anything in the grand scheme of things. If you feed something an object, they'll drop their currency, and their currency is just how you purchase upgrades and things like that. You can also use it to upgrade slimes from one upgrade to another. But
So
yeah,
you're the
it's
poop smith.
exactly, you're just the poop smith. All you're doing is just collecting shit. You're just like a giant world janitor in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, it kind of sticks in that boat for like a while, like the longest time, to the degree where I didn't expect it to really go anywhere differently. One of the areas that you can unlock is called the lab, which gives you the ability to make mining equipment apiaries, and there's something else, I can't remember what it is, but essentially they're resource nodes in the grand scheme of things, and they have time durations on them, and I found that really weird because everything else in the game is kind of just like an instant gratification of sorts. Like, you go over, you see a bunch of slimes, you feed them, they get bigger, and then they give you a drop. Like, it's pretty instant. There's no waiting period for that. But, like, when I got the mining tools, it was like, okay, you place it down, you have 15 minutes. I'll see you in 15 minutes when this is done. And I was like, wait, what? Wait, you serious right now? And that's the weird thing that I don't know how I feel about it. Maybe I'll get used to it, but I really doubt it. I personally am not a big fan of time limits on games, especially when it's something as instantly rewarding as like this, where it
Yeah.
just, for me personally, it really conflicted with the flow of the game. And
Yeah, that's more of a mobile game thing. I
Yeah.
find is putting timers on stuff like that. Like that's why freaking Bethesda, bless their heart, bless that Todd Howard's heart. The freaking Elder Scrolls Blades is
Yeah.
such a nightmare. 'Cause it's like, oh, you want to build a blacksmith? Cool. Wait 24 hours. Oh,
Yeah.
but you can. But there. So you've got a time limit in this game though, and there's
Yeah.
not even like a pay to go faster or something like
Yeah.
that. You just gotta wait for it to
Exactly.
build.
Exactly.
Mm.
And another keynote is that it's not a free game. Like, I paid money for it. And when I pay money for it, putting timers on things makes me immediately frustrated. I was trying to hold back a lot on stream. I was just trying not to make a big deal out of it. But deep down, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, I don't want to just make, like, 3 different things and then spend half a stream just waiting for those to eventually be done. Like, that's not...
Assault flow through you.
Honestly, though, aside from that, like, there was things about it that, like, I did see as being pretty cool. So the mining tools and all that stuff, they aren't exactly necessary. Like, you don't need them, but they can provide like really cool rewards. So, for example, there's a drone where it will actually go about doing all of like the stuff that you would normally do at your farm. Like, it will go collect their poop, it'll feed them, and it'll like actually go and sell the poop for you. Like, it does all the things for you, which I thought was really cool. Downside is it's gonna take forever for me to get because I don't want to wait that long. That's just not a thing I as a player want to do. But I had to concede, like, that was a cool idea. There was a bunch of like cosmetics in it as well, so it's not necessarily a requirement, but it was the biggest upgrade for my farm, for example. So you can unlock different areas. There's like a cave area where you can store night slimes, essentially, where if they come out during the day, they just die. That's just how it goes. They see light and then they're gone. So there's like areas where you could store those, which is nice. And there's like a pond where you could store puddle slimes, which are fucking adorable, by the way. By far, probably one of the most adorable things in the game. But there's all of these sorts of dynamics, which is like, okay, that's fine. They're expansions. But the lab itself just felt like I paid a lot of money to not really get anything. Like, it was like, okay, I paid money to pay more money. Great. Cool. That's not my biggest feels good moment in this game. Aside from that, I really like it. I've been having a blast with it. It's definitely a fun game. You don't have to play this, and I've already said it multiple times, you don't have to play this with like a goal, which is really nice. Kind of like with Stardew. You don't have to play it with a goal. It tries to fake you out by like giving you a goal of, hey, make the farm better in 3 years. But in the grand scheme of things, no matter what happens, you can still keep playing after it. Like, there's no real limitation there. So that's really nice. I really find the lab mechanic to be really weird. Like, that's definitely the biggest thing that I find to be really strange. The slimes all have different like personality traits, which is really cool. So, for example, tabby slimes are like the cat slimes. If you get close to them, there's a good majority of the time where they'll just like jump at your face, just to jump at your face, and like that's just a thing. Certain ones are really aggressive. So, for example, certain kinds of slimes will get aggressive if they don't get fed. Some will just stay like lethargic. They won't really do anything. They'll just chill. But some of them will just go all out to try to murder you in revenge for the like lost pomegranate. And I don't know. I found it to be really cool and really interesting in that regard. And there's depth in it, but like you don't necessarily need to dive like deep into it. Each like certain kind of slime has their favorite type of food. They have required kinds of food. So, for example, one certain thing will only eat vegetables, another will only eat fruit. One doesn't give a fuck. He'll just eat whatever. It doesn't matter. But like even within that trait, there's like, okay, well, this one likes strawberries, and like if you feed him strawberries, you get like a multiplier of the reward that you get. So it gives you an incentive to like go for that depth, but you don't really need to. Like, I have a farm of just like random fruits and veggies, and I just throw food in whatever cage I want just to like do it. And And yeah, I don't know. There's not a whole lot to talk about when it comes to this game. It's just a nice little chill. It's a chill game. It's a video game for fun. That's the best way of like describing it. You don't need to like be good at every single game. This could just be a game that you just play to have a good time. But
Not a lot. Not a lot to
what-
talk about, but got 20 minutes done on it. Sorry, I'll make.
You're good. I was just gonna say, watching this guy harvest all these like carrots and like all this other like healthy food. I'm like, God, my diet sucks.
oh man.
Maybe I need to get put into a pen and have some. Like,
Yeah,
please
where's the
blow
slime that only
carrots
gets
into
fed
my
ramen?
face.
Where's that slime? Oh man.
Where's the slime that goes out and buys really not good for you Chinese food, then eats it sadly alone in its room?
Is there a slime that just relies on chicken strips and beer?
If only. Oh,
that's
man.
my uncle.
See, this is an interesting game because this is definitely not the first time we've talked about this
Uh-huh.
game on this podcast, and it seems to be a game that we return to just because it's really it seems to be a replayable game that
Yes. Yeah.
it just has all sorts of different levels of enjoyability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it seems, especially if you catch it on sale, it seems like it's a really good value.
Yeah. It's one of those games that's fun for fun's sake, rather than being fun by being difficult or being fun by like introducing certain like interesting new mechanics. You're feeding slimes vegetables. That's the grand
Mhm.
scheme of things. Like you're not doing anything like mind blowing, really. It's like, okay, I gave a slime a carrot. Congratulations, me. But like, I don't know, it's just a fun game to just chill and mess with. Like
Mhm.
for me personally as a streamer, it was like playing just chatting, but just like having a game in the background. Like,
Yeah.
it was a fun experience that I could just play and chill with, but I don't really need to focus on it. Like, I don't have to like go all out and try to beat the game just because I'm a completionist, which is usually the case with other games. So, like, with something like Bloodborne, for example, I love the difficulty on it. Like, I love that sort of thing. But it's always really refreshing to just have a game that doesn't ask much of you, really. Like, it's like, okay, yeah, you can do whatever you want. I don't care. There's no repercussion for not feeding a slime, with the exception of it might get mad. Maybe. I don't know. You can walk. Like, you'll be fine. You could probably walk faster than it anyway, but it's not a happy boy. It's not a happy camper. But yeah, I don't know. Definitely a nice chill game. I enjoyed my time playing it. I still really don't get the lab aspect though. That part is really throwing me off personally.
Gotcha.
Aside from that, it's good. That's all I really
Cool.
have to say about it. But yeah,
Anything else on Slime Rancher?
I think that covers it for me personally.
Cool.
Very cute.
Yeah.
What's next?
So next, we actually had something that we were talking about earlier, which is the QuakeCon sale that's actually happening right now.
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah, Homyk brought to like our attention that Prey was $5, which is a phenomenal steal, by the way.
Yes.
Like, that's a really good game.
I'm thinking about grabbing that actually, just because people are
Yeah.
like, "Oh, have you played Prey before?" And I'm like, "I have not." They're like, "Well, why don't you get it?" I'm like, "Cause I don't have any money."
Yeah. For me personally, so I almost beat the game. The keynote is almost, because I got right to the end, and then my hard drive got corrupted. And then I lost all of my data for it, and it was the worst thing of all time. Like, it was probably my worst experience in gaming for like a solid week of like, all the games you played are now gone. You lose. Like, congratulations, you
Good
suck.
day, sir.
Yeah. So that was horrible, but like the entire time that I had with it was really good. Like, it was a really, really fun experience. The graphic quality was shockingly super impressive. Even recently, I reinstalled it just because I wanted to try it off stream and play it for a little bit. And I was expecting it to like age a little bit. It looks phenomenal. Like, it looks really, really solid, even like at this day and age. But yeah, it's super, super nice looking. I was just unbelievably impressed. But yeah, I don't know. It was really, really, really good.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what it is about, so essentially you play as a scientist who is honestly, they don't really give you a whole lot of details at the start. They're just like, hey, you're doing science stuff today. Seems good. And it turns out that you're obviously the subject in the game where it's like, okay, can you do this for us real quick? Can you do this for us real quick? Just trying to like teach you basic mechanics and stuff. And then towards the end of like the tutorial, it turns out that like a monster like climbed up on a table while like one of the scientists was looking away, and it turned into a mug. Like it just turned into a coffee mug, and that's like your start with it. And so the guy starts drinking out of the coffee mug, and he's like, why is there no coffee in this? And it just turns back into a monster, kills him, and then it restarts you back at the start of the game. And like that's just how it starts. And you're just like, what is happening? Like, what is going on? It's really, really cool. It's very like hide and go seek in terms of horror at the start, which is really interesting mechanic. Like, I haven't really seen that used in a single player setting. Like, I've obviously seen it in oh my god, what's it called? It's one of the Gary's mod games. Where like
Prop hunt.
yeah, prop hunt. Like you can use a hide and go seek mechanic in that, but it was never really used in a horror element before along these lines. In short, really looks really, really good. Like super good for this day and age. The gameplay is fun, and the nice thing is actually really early on you get something called I think it's called a goo cannon. I think that's what it's called. And it gives you the ability to parkour. Like it gives you the ability to not actually have to follow the straight and narrow like linear path that the game might want you to do. So for example, I got the goo cannon, went into a hallway, and saw that there was like an area above me. And my immediate like thought before anything was like, I need to go up there. I need to see what's up there. I have to know. And so I'm just placing like little foam bomb things like on a wall, just like parkouring up to it. And I got a gun that I wasn't even supposed to get for like 3 hours just because of that. And I
shot your goo.
I shot my goo all
Straight
over
up.
the place. And needless to say, it was a very rewarding experience. But
Shooting your goo is rewarding from what I hear.
it's very, very rewarding. It's super good game. Heavily recommend. For $5, that's like beyond a steal. Like even when I bought it, which I think I bought it at like $20, I was very surprised by like how high quality it was. And it's not a short game by any means. It's actually pretty long, and it's pretty dense. There's a lot of things going on, and I really like it. I don't know. It feels like it's very AAA title. That was like the biggest feel that I got from it. It was a AAA title with an actual unique element to it, not just like, oh, it's a AAA game and it's okay. I don't know. It looks like they just felt like it really did a good job with it. I was really impressed. But yeah, that's my little spiel on that game personally.
Yeah. So yeah, the QuakeCon sale, just like real quick, Doom, Prey, Wolfenstein: The New Order, Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus, Dishonored 1 and 2, Dishonored: Death of the Outsider, and Commander Keen are all on sale right now.
Yeah, and those are
they're all everything except for Wolfenstein: The New Colossus is under $10.
really
New Colossus is $20. Yes.
okay. Those are really, to my understanding, because I played a few of those. I never played the Wolfenstein series, but those are really, really good games. Like I have heard extremely good reviews about all of them.
I played through, I think, 3/4 of the Bethesda Wolfenstein, the first game. I think that one's called I think that one's called New Order. I think is what the first one, quote unquote, is called.
Yeah.
And I didn't beat it. I got distracted by something, but I was really enjoying the combat in that game, the art style, like
Wholesale murdering of Nazis.
Yeah, that's just good old character building is what that is. Go
wholesale and slaughter of Nazis.
Just puts hair on your chest.
Exactly.
Oh man,
I think I got hairy.
I love the Easter. There was actually also some classic Wolfenstein Easter eggs in the game. Also, there was a nightmare section it was the nightmare section where like in this one hub you could actually go upstairs and you could like take a nap in this bed. It was like have a nightmare or something. I'm like, okay, this is weird. But the nightmare is your character BJ Blazkowicz having a dream of the very first Wolfenstein game, and you're playing it in like classic like Wolfenstein kind of that Doom 2D 3D like
Mhm.
a looking environment, and you're just running through a level of Wolfenstein, and it was really there's really cool Easter eggs in the game.
Mhm.
The acting is really well done.
hmm
Uh,
Yeah.
very dramatic, very intense. Like I got feelings of some of the scenes. I got feelings of like a Quentin Tarantino movie based
Mhm.
on like some of the characters. Like there's this one. She's a female Nazi officer, but she's really intimidating. I forget what her name is. But like when you first meet her, you play a game of Nazi chicken with her, and you had to struggle between not blowing your cover and then also like faking that you're a Nazi operative or something like that. And it's actually really intense. You're just sitting there like, oh, yes. I mean, yeah, yeah, Frau.
Yeah.
Like
Guten
just
Tag. Mhm.
yeah. But it was
I know the French.
I
Oh
I don't
man.
know why I stopped playing the game, but I was really enjoying it. So anyone who's looking into this Quake Bethesda sale or whatever, definitely the
Mhm.
Wolfenstein, something that I extremely recommend.
Yeah.
'Cause they're hella fun. Beautiful games, and they play well, and they're fun, and just yeah, solid games.
Yeah. I've never actually personally played the Wolfenstein games, and I've been looking into it, so I'm probably even considering picking them up. Did
hmm
you so did you play both of them? Homyk?
I only played through most of the New Order.
Okay.
I haven't beaten it,
Okay.
and then I heard Old Blood was also really good.
Mhm.
But a buddy of mine back in the day, we played it, and he was like, "This game is really freaking amazing," and I'm like, "I should give it a try at some point." But I don't know. I personally haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah. The
I,
mainly the reason why I'm asking is like, is there any need? So would I need to like play both of them in order to understand what's happening, or can they like stand alone in a sense? Because I understand that it might not like hold all of the depth on it, but
mm,
I don't know. I want to try the newest like Wolfenstein. I heard it's really
From what I've
good.
from what I've heard, you do need to kind of go in order to.
their Old Blood is a prequel to New Order, but it came
Okay.
out after Order.
Right.
So it goes Wolfenstein, New Order. Then there's Old Blood, which is a prequel to New Order, and then it's the New Colossus, and then it's the the new one that's coming out this year, do to
Right.
something or others. Um, but yeah, like there is a continuous storyline with the
Okay.
games,
All right.
to keep up with.
Okay, that's fine by me. It definitely sounds really interesting, though. I've heard so many good reviews about the Wolfenstein games. Like, I have heard
Mm.
overwhelmingly phenomenal things about them. I personally don't know shit about it because I haven't even seen any of the gameplay on it. I've seen a tiny bit, and that's it. But like, aside from that, I got nothing. Um, but yeah,
The
I
gunplay is a lot of fun, and fun weapons, and like there's you can go in guns blazing, or there's stealth elements to the game also that
mhm,
you can engage in. Just lots of different ways to approach a problem. It's why I really liked another game on the list. It's why I really enjoyed freaking Dishonored when
mhm,
I first played it, because there's so many different ways about going about solving a problem.
hmm
Um,
yeah,
which is not to that extent, but I always love games that give you multiple different solutions
yeah,
instead of like heading down a corridor, guns blazing. You can find an alternate route or something like that.
yeah,
I love games that give the player a choice as to how to engage in this event,
right,
and how to go about solving it with their own problem-solving skills. Do they just want to
mhm,
go head first into it, or do they want to try a little more subterfuge,
right,
like
Yeah.
yeah.
player chores, per chore?
Yeah. And it seems
Super
like all the
important.
games on this list are very good at that specific thing. Like they're very, very open in terms of what you can
yeah.
do. Prey, you could run around with a shotgun if you wanted. You could go like parkour up some walls. You could like freeze enemies and then just destroy them with a wrench. Like you could do whatever you want. But yeah, it's really like I got to give credit where credit's due. That's something that Bethesda does really excel at. Is just keeping player choice in mind on certain titles.
And letting other developers make better games than them.
Accurate. Accurate.
I love
Listen,
I love Elder Scrolls, but it's like,
Yeah.
at some point you need to pull your head out of your ass and like upgrade your tech. Like,
Don't
We
even
could
get
do
me
so-
started on Fallout
we
76.
can do so much with our creative engine. Upgrade the goddamn engine. Change it. Like,
Oh man.
ugh,
Yeah.
whatever.
so that's the QuakeCon sale. Anything else on that at all?
I believe that's basically it. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I don't know. Were there any games that you were interested in, Danny?
Like I have Dishonored.
Mhm.
I've tried to play it a couple times, and just every time, I think I got distracted with something else.
Mhm.
Probably the one, yeah, probably Wolfenstein. The Wolfenstein series is the one that probably attracts me the most.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's really about it in terms of this. I don't know why Dishonored never kept my attention.
Mhm.
It might be worth me trying again, maybe doing it for stream or something. But yeah.
I think I'm gonna be picking up Prey
Mhm.
for October. Just get
Ooh.
it while it's cheap now, and then play it for October, just so I have spoopy game
Mhm.
play.
Yeah.
Something to be like, oh, that's not a coffee table. Ah,
That's not a coffee table. That is death.
Oh
Straight
man.
death.
that is tentacle. Yay.
Oh man. Yeah, if there's one game that or one thing that game teaches you really well, it's don't trust any object no matter what. I think there's one room in particular where like you'll go into it and there's just sticky notes on every object in the room that's just like not a mimic, not a mimic, not a mimic. You're just like, okay, I feel like somebody's in the same boat as me here. Oh man.
But what if they mimicked the post-it note?
Honestly. Oh man.
We have
man.
anything else to talk about?
I think that about covers it. There wasn't really a whole lot in terms of news this week. Like it was pretty chill. Plus we got to talk about a lot of budget games going on right now, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What was that? What was that bit of news or something? Were we wanting to talk about any of these? Or were we wanting to talk about the Joycon thing?
We can talk about the Joy-Con thing if you want.
At least mention it.
Yeah.
I think we all agreed, like in our pre-show prep, that there was. It's like, it doesn't really fit our niche. We were before the show started. I even admitted this to these guys. When I was looking for stories, I was grasping for straws. There is basically nothing. we could talk about the new Overwatch character, sure, but we're not that podcast.
I will be honest, I didn't even know there was a new Overwatch character. It's been so long since I played Overwatch.
Yeah, they stole from Mega Man, is what it is.
Oh my god. Wait a
I
second.
don't
Is
even
this the
know.
character that I thought looked like somebody from Warframe? Hold on.
Guys, we're
think-
talking about the new Overwatch character. Format's broken.
The guy who looks like he's Lex Luthor.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've seen it now. Okay.
So this this Joy-Con thing. So apparently there's a class action lawsuit. I am forcibly bringing us back to topic. There's a lawsuit against Nintendo. Apparently there's a drift issue with the Joy-Cons. To be honest, I didn't even understand the problem, because when I asked, like, so what's the actual problem? Like the Joy-Cons like coming loose on it or whatever? No, it's apparently drift with the joysticks, right, guys?
Yeah. Yeah. Which
Like just classic stuff with like N64 controllers and would do that. Like GameCube controllers would do that shit back in the day. You slam on the stick long enough, and eventually it breaks.
yeah.
Ooh, it breaks, and then your character has a tendency to, whenever your controller is idle, to just kind of be like, Well, hey, well, where am I going?
Yeah. No, I was so confused when I looked at the article, honestly, because like normally I'm used to our articles being a little bit more in depth or like a little bit more like important, to say the least. So when I saw it, and then it was like, Drift. Wait, am I just not understanding Drift correctly? Because if I remember right, Drift is just like lazily moving to the left. Like that's not that big of a deal. Like whatever. Apparently that's worth a lawsuit nowadays. I don't understand at all. Like I don't
But
get it.
according to the article, it was 5,500 people who reported the similar issue, and so
What?
the legal action was decided to be taken to sue the shit out of Nintendo. Because god dang it, if we can't have our working controllers, then you can't have your money. Give me your money because I certainly deserve it. I guess maybe more than you possibly.
Apparently.
Like
I initially thought it was something about like the controllers like coming undone from the Switch itself, and like okay, I can
Yeah.
see where like maybe like if like the Joy Cons were like shifting in your hand or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, like I could see it if it was an actual hardware issue, like a core hardware issue. Like maybe if the fucking Joy-Cons were actually broken on like release of product. Like okay, yeah, obviously. Like that would be worth something. But like lazily moving to the left is not that bad. Like what? The controllers aren't that expensive, like straight up. Like they're really just not that big of a deal. But like two, it's lazily moving to the left. Like that's not the end all be all. Like I remember even Homyk brought it up earlier when we were talking about it before the stream, was when they were doing full refunds for like the Xbox 360 Red Rings,
yeah.
which I know that feeling so well because I had like 5 Xbox 360s that all had the exact same problem, and then every time I'd have to refund them. Like that's an issue. That's a core issue. I can completely agree with that. Lazily moving to the left is not that big of a deal, and that's not even through like release of product. That's through wear and tear. Like that's
If
yeah,
it's
obviously it's gonna happen.
now if it's an issue of like they're supposed to fulfill a certain standard of like test abuse or something like that. Like
Uh-huh.
I don't know how it works with like how they test a product to
Right.
make sure that it can withstand a certain amount of like abuse over time.
Mhm.
I imagine there's some kind of test they do with that
Right.
over time. And if it's something to where they said it passed that kind of test, but then in public it doesn't
Mhm.
pass that test, I could see where it would be a issue for legal repercussions.
Mhm.
But if you're just abusing the A Smash and Super Smash Brothers or something like the if you're just trying to beat the shit out of your 12-year-old cousin in Super Smash Brothers and you break your Joy-Con, well that's your own fuck,
Right,
in my opinion.
exactly. Yeah.
Um Now if Nintendo I don't really see a reason to sue Nintendo, but if Nintendo wants to be like, yeah, we understand we can make a more like durable version
Mhm.
of Joy Cons. In the meantime, we could like, we were talking like with the 360, like, yeah, how long have you had your Switch? How long have you had your Joy-Con?
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. Oh, it broke in this amount of time. Well,
Mhm.
sure, refund or whatever. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I am not. Uh, I'm not educated enough to really talk about like legal kind of stuff.
Right.
Um, I'm
Yeah.
I'm just some dickhead on the internet. Like,
It's okay, me too.
but
Thirdsies.
I personally, I'm just like everyone just wants to sue someone with a lot of money at this
Yeah.
point, and just to like get a piece of what they're making because they're not making. That's what I took away from it. Is like we want an excuse to sue Nintendo because they've got money and I don't. So
Yeah. Yeah. I was even so shocked when I was reading the article, and you're right, it did say 5,500 people had this issue, and I was like, I have never heard a single person have this issue that's not like, unless if they're just like being an asshole to their Switch. Like, unless if that's the case. Like, I've never once heard that issue. So I don't know what's going on there. I really don't have a clue. But I have
Here's
to
the
agree.
answer to your problems.
Honestly.
Nintendo Pro controller. Buy one.
Yeah.
See this stick? I've beaten the shit out of this. It's got a little bit of dust on it, but that's just from love, baby. It's just from love. But
Oh man.
Anything else on that? Like I said, we were grasping at straws for news this week. It
think-
was
I think that about covers it.
yeah. I mean, we should probably have some news with QuakeCon next week, starting on Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
oh boy, more Doom footage. Let's go.
Oh my god, that's all I want. Honestly.
Maybe we'll see how Bethesda actually plans on fixing, Fallout 76.
That's not what I
instead of
want.
this-
I want that game to die in a fire. I don't want to see that game ever again.
But they're putting in NPCs, Ren.
Oh yeah, it's only been a year. It's
Hold
only
on.
been
That
a
what
year
you
and people
want?
losing their shit.
So
Okay,
actually,
or-
hey, Ren,
Yeah.
You want NPCs?
here I got some homework for you, Ren,
Okay.
because the podcast has been around long enough to for you to go back, and I want you to go back and listen to our QuakeCon episode from last year.
Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
I
We
would
like hyping it up because I really wanted it to be good. And then like the more and more closer it got, the more and more I was like, oh god, no. Oh god, please don't suck. And then it was just like, it sucks. It's horrible.
I would really like you to have a retrospective. Of
Yeah, I'm
sorts.
planning on playing it on a year anniversary of the game coming out because I played it in beta and I played it on release and I heavily regret my life choices.
Oh, Ren, you did not fall. Did you fall for it last year? Did you fall for it?
Oh man.
Okay,
On the
can
plus
we-
side,
I wanna
there's
see,
one
I
mild
wanna
plus
see.
side. There's one very tiny plus side. I convinced so many people not to buy it that I almost feel like my money was justified on saving other people's money. That's
He
like
was
the
the
only
martyr.
thing. Yeah, honestly. Oh man. But-
let me find it real quick. I should let's see. Is this the episode?
To be fair, I was only saved because in general, Fallout doesn't really attract me.
Uh-huh.
I found the games kind of boring in
Mm-hmm.
comparison to like Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
I think it's just the post-apocalyptic setting doesn't interest me.
Mhm.
Whereas fantasy much more interests me.
Yeah.
But that's like there could be other games that do it differently. Like for instance, I love the Metro series. I've been playing the Metro series in my off stream. It's been an off stream game of mine for
Yeah.
a minute now, and I've been enjoying the hell out of those games.
Mhm.
But I think it's because it's more of a linear experience.
Yeah, it's a very linear, immersive experience. That's the thing. Is like,
yes.
oh my god, it is extremely immersive, and they do it really well.
Whereas in Fallout, I just feel like I'm walking around alone in like a brown, just a brown.
Yeah.
I'm walking alone in a brown.
Yeah, just in a brown, just in a brown. You can take that whatever way you want.
Wow, all two colors of this palette is wonderful.
There's either greenish brown or brown. Those are your only options.
or gray.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
when I got-
One. I was gonna say just one very tiny Fallout 76 rant that like
Uh-huh.
because I
Oh,
ranted about this game
yeah.
for like a straight up hour, and I'm not gonna do that to us here. But like
Give us to us, Daddy.
the fact,
it
and I
to
mentioned
me.
this at the E3 talk that we had, the fact that they tried to sell putting in NPCs as like their like major like goal that they planned on doing in the first place was like year 1 there was no NPCs, year 2 we're bringing them back, and like that was their main selling point was like yeah this was our plan the entire time, was like the guys were all supposed to come back, and I'm just sitting over here like, you motherfuckers. You motherfuckers. You can't even admit that you did a wrong. You're just like, no, this was our plan the entire time. Our entire plan was to just botch it on year 1 and then like act like it was all part of the plan in year 2. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I
love that.
I could not believe that they threw it in VR. I joked about it while we were watching it, and then it actually happened. And I was about to throw my keyboard out of like a fit of like rage, and like I couldn't believe this was happening right now. Oh man.
That I love whenever any developer or anything like does something that is a mess up. I love the whole like, oh, we're so self-aware, blah 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 blah. Like, so surprise, something Todd Howard freaking surprise, some of you are here after this past year. And,
Right?
and I'm just like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's like the one dude just, wow,
Yeah.
Yeah!
I can't see. I can't actually be loud because I'm in an apartment and I'd piss off my neighbors.
Oh man. It
I
was
probably
just
do piss off my neighbors, but
it was just that
Um,
one front Devro that had any sort of like interaction at all, and everybody else is like, you gotta be kidding me, why am I here? Like everybody else is like, this is the worst idea I've ever had in my life. I can't believe this right now.
mhm.
it's funny that last year, you were like, dude. So from what I'm gathering, last year you were like super stoked for the
I was
announcement of 76.
I was really excited. Yeah, because like I thought I thought it was gonna be better than that. Like by a landslide. Like it didn't even feel like it was mildly released. Like it didn't even feel like it was like I tried it in the beta and I was like, this is horrible. Like this is atrocious. How the fuck? They have 2 weeks to fix this. Like there's no way in hell. Like half of these issues are so like corely ingrained into the game itself. Like there's no way you're fixing some of these issues. And
Yeah.
It reminds me of that reminds me of Anthem too, because that was another
Yeah.
game that was just like, holy shit.
yeah.
I'm really glad I didn't buy the game. One
Mhm.
of my friends they bought an NVIDIA hard drive and gave me a copy to the key to the game, as well as the oh god, Premiere access
Mhm.
to play the game before it came out. And I played it. I'm like, this is fun and all, but this is really empty in comparison to what I was hoping it was going to
Mhm.
be. And I'm just sitting there thinking, I'm like, and also the rampant server issues. And all I can think of is, I'm just like, I don't think this is a thing that can be fixed before release.
Mhm.
This doesn't
Yeah.
seem like something that's fixable. I
Yeah.
think this is just what is going to be the game. And then,
Yeah.
sure as shit, the game came out. I was playing my copy of it, and I played it for like 2 weeks, and I'm like, I'm so no,
Yeah.
I have no more interest in playing this game.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I moved
I
on.
felt the exact same issue because I tried out I believe it was the beta. I tried it with a friend, and I was like, this is solidly okay at best. Like, this is alright. The sound design for the guns was like the worst thing of all time. Like, in terms of like the base guns, I couldn't believe it. I was like, am I just shooting pea shooters? Are all my guns pea shooters? Like, what's happening right now? Honestly,
They
though,
need
it was like
to-
every gun had that same one sound effect, and I was like, I can't handle this. Like, this is the worst.
Yeah.
The abilities were cool. I'll give them that. Like, the abilities and the character models themselves were cool. Everything else was a shitstorm. Like, everything else is like, I could care less about anything in this.
Well, the combat was completely ripped from Mass Effect 3's multiplayer.
Yeah.
The thing, like the entire basis for the combat was the
Mhm.
combo system, was detonation combos and priming combos. It's completely ripped from another game's multiplayer, and they tried
Yes.
to establish this game as like this. That's the basis of the combat. Like, well, that's all well and good if it works.
Right.
Which it doesn't. This game doesn't.
Between
But
the
you know what?
neck coding and all the
Mm,
other nonsense that happened with it.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh God. Oy vey. But yeah, going back to 76. So I find it really funny and
I find it
upsetting
funny too. Don't
that you they were, because when I heard the news about it, everyone was geeking out about it,
Yeah.
and I was just being jaded about it because number
Uh-huh.
one, I don't really like Fallout
Right.
to begin with, and number two, I'm just like, didn't Fallout 4 just come out and they're making a
Mhm.
new full Fallout game? And I'm just like, and I remember I made fun of it in like one of my I was playing Skyrim one night,
Mhm.
and I was just being like, well, you know, back when Skyrim came out 50 years ago, and I kept like, oh my god, I was like, Todd Howard is our Lord and Savior. He can do no wrong. Like releasing a game this year we've known nothing about.
Oh man.
Other than it's a Fallout game, and
Mhm.
Fallout 4 just came out. I'm sure it's gonna be perfect, right, guys? Right?
Yeah, they didn't just slap some netcoding on Fallout 4 and call it a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh man.
I don't mean to make fun of your
No, don't
suffering,
worry.
but-
No, trust me. I am completely self-aware on it. I am
I am-
fully self-aware on it.
I'm pretty sure I was really skeptical at the time,
Yes,
and I
yeah.
was like, Ren, don't feed into the hype. Ren, don't feed into the hype. Ren, what did I fucking tell you? I fucking
Yeah.
told you so.
The plus side, I'll give it one plus side. It's not even the game itself that was the plus side. It was just like the fact that it crushed my spirit has now made me very self-aware about other games. I did not get hyped about them. Like really, like my immediate first thing I do is try to break a game down to like the lowest grade I possibly can, like when I see it, and then try to build it up from there. So when I saw Anthem, I was like, this doesn't look this doesn't look good at all.
He is becoming the jaded warrior we knew he would become.
Oh man.
It was almost overnight. Like you can
Yeah.
see it. Like if you go back and listen to the
Yeah.
podcast.
Well, yeah,
episodes,
because like you can hear in the podcasts, like over time, I'm getting more and more fearful. Like I'm more and more just like, I don't know about this. And then like the week I played the beta, I almost quit playing the beta. Like I like played it on stream for like half an hour and was like, I'm fucking done. Like this is horrible. This is like the worst thing I've ever played. I was
Yeah.
losing my mind there. But
Oh, my God.
But yeah. Plus side, at least it taught me how to be jaded. So I'll give it that. And I saved like 5 other people a lot of money. So I'll also consider that. But like, holy Jesus, I made a mistake.
Well, I'm trying to think of the first game that made me a jaded, bitter, cynical gamer.
Mhm.
I want to say, and I think Fox in the chat could agree with me on this. I think, I think it was it Halo 5 that made me jaded?
Oh,
and
it might have been Halo 4.
No, I
maybe.
liked Halo 4. I liked Halo 4.
Oh. That makes fun of
um,
us.
Yeah, I liked Halo 4. I played a lot of it. 5, like I'm a big story guy. I love the Halo
yeah.
series. I
Mhm.
dedicate, and you know, Ren, I dedicate
Yeah.
an entire month
Yeah.
to fucking Halo. Yeah, Halo 5 just lost the story.
Mhm.
And so while I'm excited for Halo Infinite,
Mhm.
I'm very, 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 very curious to see how they drag it away from the direction they were taking it, or how
Right.
they like fix the story issues they made for themselves in the last
Mhm.
game. I've got high hopes. Like they really seem to be like 343 seems to be really proud of this
Mhm.
game.
Yeah.
So
And their
I
recent track
have
record, like with what they've been doing recently, actually hasn't been the worst. So that's a
well,
plus side.
they've been getting a lot of positive PR with first of all bringing
Mhm.
Master Chief Collection to the PC. That's a
Right.
huge thing. Also, all the positive changes they made for the console version
Mhm.
of the MCC. And then also apparently the multiplayer community for Halo 5 apparently has been really big. It just sucks that I haven't been a big multiplayer guy for years
Mhm.
now. I'm
Right.
always a story guy. And so the fact that the story sucked for
Yeah.
Halo 5 was extremely disappointing for me. But yeah, so I'm really stoked about Halo Infinite tentatively,
Mhm.
just because I want it to be good, but I'm gonna wait until I see more. Because
Yeah.
one pretty E3 cinematic doesn't convince me.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, Halo's back, baby. Halo's back. I'm like, we saw a fucking pretty cutscene. That doesn't mean jack shit, dudes.
Yeah.
Don't fall for the hype. Wait till we actually get like gameplay. Like,
Yeah.
well, I'm really
And that
hoping. I'm. Ugh.
and that's one of the big
Yeah.
things about this recent E3 too, is like almost all of E3 this year was just cinematics. Bethesda's thing was just cinematic cutscenes. There was no
Yeah.
actual real gameplay showed except for Doom. Like that was the only thing they showed. Granted, they showed Doom for like 20 minutes. So I'll give them
Yeah.
mild props on that for showing the one and only game that they had that was good. But Like everything else was just like, you like cutscenes? We got you on that boat. And I completely agree. I can't get sold on that anymore. If anything, it makes me immediately not like the game.
And it's a game that had nothing to do with making is Doom. That's entirely
Right.
its,
Exactly.
like, brainchild. That's entirely Mick Gordon's glorious guitar, like sensually massaging your ear holes.
Right.
Like that soundtrack. Bethesda's had their creative engine hasn't touched that shit. Entirely its baby. And like just because Bethesda's like there's like here let's jerk off money onto this project to make ourselves look better. And
Yeah.
Right.
like, ugh,
Yeah.
what happened to you, Todd? We used to have something special. What happened to you?
Oh, man.
Well, looking at the time, and I'm not complaining about this because this has been fantastic.
hmm
We are on the longer side of things for this show, typically.
Yeah.
And we have gone off any semblance of rails. So
It's for the best. Don't worry.
It's for the best. Yeah, no, I am not complaining at all. I just figure there's probably somebody looking down at their phone or something like that. And they're just like, what the fuck? So let's go on ahead and unless there's anything else that absolutely needs to be mentioned right now, we good to start closing this out?
Yeah, we're good. We're totally good. Yep.
You
Okay.
just tell me what to do.
No, what I want you to do, Homyk, what I want you to do right now, I want you to look into that camera and I want you to tell those people what you
my.
do. Oh wow. Yeah, anyone that is watching the VOD right now, you guys are getting a wonderful view. Tell the wonderful people that you're looking directly at right now where they can find you and what they're gonna find when they get there.
My name is HomykSmash. I'm a variety caster. I do vocal things and bullshit. This is my partner in crime, Saxman. You can find me at twitch.tv/HomykSmash, where the metal in all its glory, lots of variety gaming, voice acting, singing, stupid voices, and me making an ass of myself. We'll have a good
So anyone watching live, we put the hit copy to his Twitch link right there. If you're watching the VOD or on any of our podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and the like, you will see it down below in the episode description. Ren, what's coming up on your channel?
So, I'm going to be playing a ton more Borderlands 2. That's like the big thing I've been doing recently. And also, I kind of want to give another shout out to Homyk because Homyk was actually the inspiration for me to do the Skyrim Charity Month in the first place. When I watched you do like your entire Halo month, like the way that you designed it was like awesome. Like, I really liked all of the rewards and stuff like that for it. And I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, dude.
And it was just a blast to watch. And that really just like that immediately made me think like I want to do this for something. I need to figure out a way to like implement this in some way. So quite literally, Homyk is basically the reason why that month happened. So big pogs to him. But anyway, I'm gonna be playing. Yeah, of course, dude. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, it's fun.
But anyway, I'm gonna be playing a lot more Borderlands 2. We are currently in True Vault Hunter mode on our Siren, and we're trying to get to level 80 on that one. We're basically just grinding out on Borderlands 2 until Borderlands 3 comes out, which comes out on my stream anniversary, which I'm super excited for. So I'm planning on doing a 24-hour of that, which either is gonna go really good or really bad based on if the game is any good or not. So we'll see.
I've never once been able to do a 24-hour live stream. I attempted it once, and I think I made it like 16 hours, and I'm like, I can't.
Oh, man.
I made it 18 hours.
To be fair, I did like work a shift right before I started it, so I think that was probably a reason why. But yeah. I've never attempted one since because I'm like, this isn't really fun, and like the quality of the content starts to go downhill. Like, you know, once you start losing your mind from lack of sleep.
Yeah, once you just start falling asleep in your chair, that's when you know things are starting to hit the fan. Yeah. But
I had the problem where I started like losing control of what I was doing, and so like I would just like start walking into walls in the game.
Oh man.
Coming up on my channel, probably some creative streams. I've got a new little mascot that I want to roll out for branding on my channel instead of all these stupid little skulls. I also got someone else's stuff that I need to work on, and some other stuff that people have been asking me to do. So I might do that. Um, this is gonna be kind of like a weird week for me. I got to go on Thursday. I've got to go help my dad go to the hospital. He's getting an operation done.
Mhm.
So probably no stream on Thursday, and who knows how else any of that's gonna affect my stream this week. Um, Other than that, guys,
Oh, there's
don't
one
forget.
final thing I completely forgot to mention as well.
Yes.
Tomorrow. So I have a camera that I've been talking about, but I'm gonna
Mhm.
actually have that set up by tomorrow. It's a mirrorless camera, and I am so excited for it to look so much better than this goddamn webcam. I am stoked. Like I am unbelievably pumped. I get the cords tomorrow. I want it now. Like that's basically it. That's all. I'm just unbelievably excited for that part. That's it. That's yep. Okay, I'm done. I'm done.
Uh, so, guys, do not forget that we do have a giveaway. For tomorrow when the podcast goes up on the podcast feed. I
Mhm.
will say on our Twitter, our episode with Homyk is live. Go on ahead and retweet this and get automatically entered to win for your chance to win a copy of Monster Prom. We also have a $70 bundle that what so basically what happens is every time you retweet, your name gets put in the hat as many times as you can retweet something like that. And you'll have a chance to win a $70 bundle at the end of the month, including the game of the week. We also have limited edition mugs that are for sale right now, so we'll get those before the 31st of July. You guys don't have that much longer to pick up your own mugs. The link will be down below for that as well. You guys can follow the podcast on Twitter at NTN Pod. You can also find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Swoot, TuneIn, iHeart, I believe, basically everything. And if we're not on your favorite podcast player, let us know. We would love to be there for you. Anything else, guys? Absolutely anything else? Did I forget
No,
anything?
that about covers it for me.
Awesome.
Stay sexy.
A big thank you to Homyk for coming in and bringing the. Not only did he bring a crowd here, but he also brought some awesome insight and some awesome conversation. We appreciate it. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Thank you guys for inviting me. I appreciate it. Gave me something to do tonight besides staring at my wall and thinking about my life and crying.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye, everybody.